everybody for joining us at Dr. Carol Francis Talk Radio Show. We have another wonderful individual who's going to touch your soul, I can tell. She has written a book called Healing
Haiku.
Haiku! Of course I know this way. I pronounce it like it was Italian as opposed to. Her name is Marjorie Miles, and she's a doctor of clinical hypnotherapy and marriage, family, child therapist. And this is about poetic prescription for, guess what, folks? Surviving cancer. And I'm going to have her introduce herself. She's going to take us through an amazing experience. So help us touch our soul today, Dr. Marjorie Miles. Welcome.
Well, thank you. It is such a pleasure to be with you and to share the story of how Healing Haikus came about. I was actually going through cancer treatment for lung cancer. I had been through
sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
A miserable cancer to get.
It's a miserable cancer to get, and yet there have been so many blessings in coming through the experience. I wouldn't want to go through it, but what happened is after, it was in 2010 when I had been diagnosed with lung cancer, so I had surgery to remove the lower left lobe of my lung.
Oh my gosh.
Then I had chemotherapy, but it was what really was miraculous was in the last part of my treatment, which was radiation. I was literally sitting in my doctor's office, and I work with dreams. So that was sort of the background that I brought to all of this. And, excuse me, and so he was late for the appointment, and I happened to have a piece of paper and pen to write down, you know, our discussion is always like, well, what's your latest symptom? How are you doing? And is this normal? And I would write something down. But he was late, and I was bored, and I just said, I'm going to go to my dreaming place. I'm just going to relax and invite a daydreamer. Well, I had barely closed my eyes, and I heard a voice.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
First time in your life?
I don't know if it was the first time in my life, but maybe it was the first time I paid attention.
All right, so you heard a voice.
So I heard a voice, and the voice said, very explicitly, in a very loud voice, you need to write a poem. Well, I thought I was nuts, and I thought the voice was even crazier. Because I said, I literally was starting to argue with this voice. And I said, what is poetic about cancer and about cancer treatment?
Of course not.
Of course not. So go away. You obviously have me mistaken with somebody else. And the voice just disregarded my own arguments and thoughts and said, and it needs to be a haiku. And I thought, what the heck?
Wow, it's combining rhythm and, okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
So, and I thought, what was a haiku? What is a haiku? And then it came to me that maybe in high school, I had written, yes, it was coming to me, a 3-line poem. 3 simple lines, but it could only contain 17 syllables.
Right.
5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, 5 in the last line.
Right.
So here I was with a piece of paper and a pen, and a poem started coming to me. I started writing. And I had a poem. I had a haiku. Well, the doctor finally arrived, and he was kind of harried because he'd been late, and it was like sort of, okay, you know, talk to me. And I said, I just wrote a poem about radiation. And yeah, and it's just like, and I said, and I'd love to share it with you. I just felt compelled. I had to tell somebody and tell him right away. Well, you can imagine he was really thrilled. He's late, you know, I'm talking, I have a poem for you. You know?
And, like trying his bedside manner.
Yeah. All right, share it. And as I began to share this poem, my hands also started moving. So I'll share the poem with you.
Oh, wonderful.
Radiation. Zap. Search and find the mutant cells. Glowing, something really profound had just happened. Unexplainable. The doctor and I, it was like this stunned silence between the two. It was like, what the heck happened here? And then I realized in that moment, Carol, that this poem, these 3 lines, became a divine container to hold the essence of the human spirit, even when the body was vulnerable. And it changed my life. It absolutely changed my life. Writing this poem, and when I came home and I shared it with my husband, the hands started moving all over again, clap, and he was like, wow. And he said, you know what? Why don't you challenge yourself to write 3 a day? And I thought,
wow.
I'm kind of interested in this. Where is this going to take me, and why? What does it have to do with cancer? And I began that challenge, and I started writing, and it became not only the journey and a place to reflect, rest, recuperate, understand, hear my voice for the first time in these little homeopathic words. I mean, it was like, because haiku, I discovered, is you cannot hide around a big word if you're feeling fear, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling joy. Too many syllables. You just get down to the little essence in this little container. And it was such a place to hear my own voice and the truth and the wisdom that I didn't know I knew until I wrote, that came back to me, and my muse came back to me. So this whole creative part of me that I had disowned came back through the cancer experience. And it has been so incredibly profound. And so I heard the voice again later, and it told me, you have to write a book. And this is the book that came out of that experience. And then I heard the voice again. 2 years later, after I was in the process of writing the book, the voice said, you need to start a creative, actually it was an expressive writing group. And Carol, excuse me, there are a few little things here. So
this is a room filled with natural gnats.
Yeah,
so there we go.
So
the interview room is in the midst of nature.
Yes, and I'm trying to remain poised.
But it's going to whack those gnats.
But then I started wanting to crawl up my nose and in my ears.
We need to make a haiku about the gnats.
We will together. So so I heard the voice again, and this time I really start listening. I mean, this voice, I believe, is really my soul's voice. It's just giving me the guidance. It's so unexplainable, but I still am shocked by the direction that, or the guidance it gives me. So I heard the voice again that said, you need to start this expressive writing group. And Carol, I swear to you, what that sounded like to me translated was, you need to start a band and you play the tuba. It was like,
yeah,
where's this coming from?
Wow, yeah.
So I said, okay, I'll do this expressive writing thing. I'll do it for 4 weeks and see what happens. It's 2 years later.
Yes.
And the most remarkable things have happened.
Like what?
Well, for example, Heather Rivera
Yes.
started coming to my group. And she's such an incredible person. I know you've had her on here.
Yes, right. She's on one of the radio shows. Yes.
Yeah.
Heather Rivera. Yes.
Yes. Well, what came to me, I just have to back up just a little bit. So after I started the group, being a clinical hypnotherapist and used to working with inductions and dreams, this whole idea started to take shape of using dreams to inform our creative spirit, to to get in touch with it, to inform it, to use dream and dream work, and a guided dream, a waking dream, came to me. And so I started using that as the way that we start the writing group, is to let us all get in touch with our own creative spirit, hearing our own voice sometimes for the first time, sometimes, like for myself, remembering it, reconnecting. So I started using that guided dream meditation. And Heather was one of the people who heard the voice of Tess, the protagonist.
Oh yes,
the very
book, The
first
Quiet
time.
Waters.
Don't you love that book?
Yes, absolutely.
I love it. I can't wait for the rest of the series. And so she heard, and we all heard in the group, Tess, her character, speak for the first time. And Tess has not shut up. She's now part of a whole series that she's writing. And what I feel that the joy and the passion of this group is hearing everyone's unique voice, helping them find it, letting them hear it, and hearing it in a safe environment where we're sharing it, and it becomes almost a heart song. Everybody's part of that melody. And it's just becoming my passion.
Okay, so now you're going to give us an opportunity to do our own dream with your muse meditation.
Yes.
I'm looking at the script, folks. And so this is an opportunity for you to use a dream. You slip into a dream a day consciously.
Yes. It's
as a form of what? Healing, self-discovery, it's connection.
It's connection with your own creative spirit and the voice that comes through that.
All right, walk us into it, folks.
Okay.
Here we go. What do they need to do to prepare?
Well, first of all, I would like everyone to have some writing material right next to them. So just have your pen and paper ready.
Pen and paper, here we go.
Ready. And the beauty of this is there's nothing about doing this. It's just allowing.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. So is this going to be
a closed eye process? Is that something we can do here?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So I would invite everyone to just close their eyes.
All right.
And take a nice deep breath.
Okay.
Because that's great. And through the breathing and easy breathing, relaxation is one of the ways that we do invite the muse and creative energy to come to us. It's through relaxing and allowing. So as you continue to relax, I want everyone just to be aware that you're taking your time now, your own time, special dream time. And so on the inhalation, just imagine breathing in the calm and peace of the moment, and breathing out any stress or negativity or anything that you just want to blow away from you. And there's nothing you need to do. Just sit back and enjoy the feeling of being supported. Supported by the universe, supported by the chair that you're sitting on, and just allowing yourself to become more comfortable and feel that support. And you find that you may be relaxing even more, sinking effortlessly and deeper into the chair and into relaxation. And as you continue to relax, you may notice that the humming sounds of the day become more and more distant, allowing you to tune in to the stillness and the preciousness and the gift of this present moment. And as you continue relaxing, you notice something wonderful is happening. The more you relax, the stronger the connection you make to the part of you that is the artist of the everyday, the part of you that desires to express itself that is the muse. So I invite you now to find the place in your body where this creative energy lives. Perhaps today it may show up as a sensation, a sound, or an image. Know that whatever comes up for you is absolutely perfect. So just allow and be curious. Now move this creative energy into your heart space and let it fill up the entire area of your heart. And notice how your inner dream muse energy is now circulating from your heart throughout your entire body and into each and every single cell of your body. It's like a giant light switch has just been turned on, and each of your cells is glowing with brilliant illumination of imagination and self-expression. And with your next breath, you find you have entered the creativity studio of your dreaming mind. And inside the studio, you see beautiful paintings and art pieces on display. And you may hear soft, inspirational music playing in the background. And as you take your next relaxing breath, you find that you are inhaling fragrances. Fragrances from healing plants, flowers, perhaps elixirs that just delight your senses. And glancing about, you see row upon row of books of every description lining gleaming bookshelves. So with this inspiration, consider it an invitation to become aware again of your inner dream muse energy. And sense it traveling down your arms now, down to your hands and your fingers. These are the fingers that in a few moments will transport memories, ideas, and images residing deep within you that are now ready to be brought to life on paper, easily and effortlessly, without judgment or censorship. You may even feel your fingers beginning to tingle now, with an aliveness you've never even noticed before, ready to pick up a pen and to start writing. So before you start writing, just remember that whatever you experience is absolutely perfect. So write from that place of non-judgment, and if you can write about the experience itself, you can write about the muse, you can write anything that you want right now. And if you seem to be drawing a little bit of a blank, start with once upon a time, and then write quickly. So allow yourself now to open your eyes to a soft focus, pick up your pen, and start writing.
Beautiful. Folks, at this point, if you're listening to the radio show, you can turn us off or put us on pause and start your writing, and then return for the conversation. But we're going to continue with the interview. What sort of things have people been able to heal or connect or discover by following through on this awakening of the writing, creative, expressive self?
I think it is hearing their own authentic voice, finding that voice and using it. And using it, we have people in the group that just come and they started, another person in the group had actually, this was again very exciting, she heard, she wrote on the paper her name and "We have missed you." And it turns out "We have missed you" was two characters from a book. It's been a book or a play. She's kind of deciding what she wants to do with it. And but 12 years, these characters had been waiting for her, and they had missed her. We miss you. Another, there are two people that are co-authoring a blog now that has to do with, it's called Wahine Wednesdays. And these are these remarkable women who are surfers. They're in their early 40s. And their whole mission has been now to help restore their own stoke, their joy.
Oh, nice.
And yes, and to really learn the lessons and teach the lessons of their spiritual connection to the ocean and what it means to ride a wave and to be fearless. And they committed to 52 Wednesdays of surfing together regardless. It's a commitment, and they're writing about their experience. So the range is unlimited, and people are finding their creative spark and following their voice and their passion and sharing it and bringing it back out into the world.
It reminds me of narrative therapy, where sharing your narrative has a healing component, or it reminds me of shamanism, where you go and you can retrieve a portion of your soul that you might have lost, which is what you mentioned in your first example. Tell me about surviving cancer and working that through in this method, entering into it, and haiku entering into it.
Well, it was, like I said, toward the end actually of the treatment, but what it allowed me to do was to reflect on the journey, to heal, to restore, to understand and get a deeper message. It was, what I learned was that cancer was a chapter in my life, but it was part of a bigger story. And the meaning was of this experience was to bring me to a larger story of my own life and to help others find their larger story and to look at each of the chapters and how we really are writing our own story and not allowing somebody else to hold the pen.
Wow. And your whole idea that it's a chapter as opposed to the beginning and the end.
Yes.
And it's a chapter that ends and begins with turmoil in between, but it's just a chapter of so many other chapters.
It brought me to this place of finding my real passion, because one of the things I discovered in writing the book was that I had lost my muse. That when I was younger, I used to draw, I used to paint, but I neglected it and it left me. And then when I was in my 30s, I started to do community theater. But the demands of my professional job, and I was on call, after a couple of years, the demands of living, I just said it's too time consuming. And then, while I was writing this book, I remembered, I retrieved a lot